Alberta independence update. The first bit of this video is going to be focused on this new poll and then some discussion around this. But from this channel, Charistis account rather, new Main Street poll. And then we'll just scroll down here. I mean, are you kidding me? Jan 31 to Feb 2nd, Liberal 51, Conservative 35. By the way, this is how I expect the next election will go. Maybe the gap will not be that high, but these results keep coming. They keep coming. We'll take a look at some replies to this post here. Yeah, Liberals lead by 15% in the latest Main Street poll. Latest Main Street poll modeled out. LPC, 237 seats. Conservative, 85. By the way, I don't even think if the Conservatives got in, that would be the best result for Alberta independence. I mean, I've grown very jaded about this, as I'm sure many other Canadians have. This person says 51% for the Liberals, LOL. Just cancel all future elections in this country. It's a waste of time. I mean, it's starting to feel that way. I actually thought even a few years ago, it was looking like the Liberals were just going to win in perpetuity. The Conservatives in Canada can't get any traction. They don't seem to really believe in themselves like the Liberals believe in themselves. I personally lost a lot of hope. I know lots of people in 2025 lost hope when Poilievre lost to Carney. I personally lost hope when Aaron O'Toole lost to Justin Trudeau in 2021.
Liberals have won a minority government once again, barely making any gains this time around. As Kelly Botello tells us, this has Canadians questioning what the point of this election was in the first place.
Deja vu for Canadians last night.
You are sending us back to work with a clear mandate to get Canada through this pandemic.
I'm not exaggerating. I expect the Liberals will keep winning election after election after election. That was so egregious. The country was locked down in these on again, off again lockdowns. All of a sudden, the Liberals have a little uptick in polling. An election gets called and the Liberals win again. Even after Trudeau had been in power at that time for over 5 years, there was a housing crisis. The pandemic was handled terribly. Many people were locked in their homes. There was way too much immigration already, and the country voted Liberal again. So I know for a lot of people, 2025, the Poilievre-Carney election was the final straw.
A remarkable victory for a former central banker and political novice. Just a few months ago, the Liberals appeared on course to be ousted after a decade in power. Even as he wished them good luck on election day, the US president didn't let up, suggesting there would be no tariffs or taxes if Canada became the 51st state.
When he started talking about our Prime Minister being the governor, that did not sit well with us.
Straw for me, 2021 is when I lost a ton of hope in Canada. If in those circumstances, you're still going to vote Liberal, what the hell is the point then of a country? Like, just Liberal government, Liberal government, Liberal government. Alberta independence is so rational at this point. Unbelievable. And here's a clip from Canadian TDS haver Laura Babcock about a meeting with Americans.
Now that we have an active treason happening in Alberta, meeting with the regime that would take our country and asking for $500 billion in a line of credit. This is not a joke. This is serious AF, and Canadians are rightfully furious about not just the situation, but the lack of courage of Pierre Poilievre to denounce it, of him to get a security clearance to prove that he's not part of it, of Danielle Smith to not be able to denounce it. Either you denounce the treason that is happening with some of the leaders of the Alberta separatist movement, or you look as though you're in line with them. And I don't think any Canadian is going to tolerate any more of this crap.
Look, the Conservative Party, in my opinion, will cow to this. They'll moderate. They, even with the polls, which I just showed, that on some level, I believe these polls. I mean, yes, any one poll, you can always say is an outlier, but I have no confidence based on the CPC track record that they're not going to listen to voices like Laura Babcock or people like her and be like, oh, we got to go to the middle. We got to go to the middle. The CPC always panders to the middle. The Liberal Party does whatever the heck they want. That's the difference. This is pretty interesting. This news is even getting to Germany. DW News, which is a German program, even says right here, a German public broadcast service, talking about this. Let's take a look at a little bit of this clip.
We begin the day with questions about the unity of Canada. Canada's Prime Minister is pushing back on reports that U.S. officials have held talks with groups in favor of an independent province of Alberta, basically breaking away from Canada. Prime Minister Mark Carney says he expects Washington to respect Canada's sovereignty. Alberta is a province in Western Canada about the size of Texas.
Pretty cool seeing this story get international attention, and then the way he said Alberta.
It has rich oil deposits, and it accounts for about 84% of Canada's crude oil production. Now, Carney's comments come as separatist groups in Alberta ramp up efforts to force a provincial referendum on leaving Canada.
Pretty fascinating. Those are shots from that Big Four event in Calgary last week. Pretty interesting. Again, that's German news. Okay, we'll head now to this clip of CBC's Rosemary Barton asking Danielle Smith about the topic of Alberta independence. You'll see.
I want to talk a little bit about separatism. Is it appropriate, do you think, for members of the Alberta Prosperity Group to meet with officials from the Trump administration and to discuss money?
Well, I would put it the other way. I mean, I think that it is up to the American administration to respect Canadian sovereignty and to respect that this is a decision that should be made in Alberta by Albertans.
And then I'm going to skip ahead a little bit in the interview because I think at this point is where it gets pretty interesting.
Other premiers had a lot to say about this. Premier Ford said you should denounce it, and you did not do that.
Well, you know, there's a lot of hurt people here. I mean, when I look at the movement, I see as 30% or more of Albertans have given up on the country. That's distressing, and that is a sign, I think, of a loss of hope. And it's my job to restore hope. But I'm not going to.
Why can't you say?
I'm not going to demonize a million.
Not demonize them, but why can't you say this isn't the path
a million
forward?
Albertans? I just feel like it's my job to allow for a bit of a pressure release valve. If people feel this way, they need an avenue to be able to express it. So I'm going to watch and see how the petition plays out. We'll know by the end of May if they have enough signatures to go to a vote, and if so, then we'll schedule that probably for the fall.
That seems risky. That seems risky to me, particularly at a time when there are real threats to our sovereignty that are coming from the outside.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you have the same conversation in Quebec where
That's so crazy, man. The real threats. Like it is a luxury issue. Most Canadians care way, way, way more about their domestic issues, their day-to-day, how much money's coming in, how much money's coming out. It's a luxury issue to care about what Trump Truth Social's about.
To elect a Parti Québécois leader, I think it's far more risky.
I ask questions there too.
I think it's far more risky to have this question drag on for years. If this is an acute issue that we're facing because of the last 10 years of being treated so badly by Trudeau, if there is a new government, there's a sort of a recognition of whether or not he's moving in the right direction. I think he's doing many things in the right direction. I think he'll do a lot more with the help of a strong opposition leader. But that, to me, is a demonstration of why there's some urgency. We've got to address the issue of getting the MOU implemented and getting to it and demonstrating that we're going to develop our resources again. And we've got to address some of the big issues like the gun buyback, which is unpopular everywhere except for Quebec, and it's a constant source of irritation. The person who's leading the petition campaign is a gun shop owner, and he has a federal government that has made him a criminal for part of his inventory that he holds, made his customers criminals with just the stroke of a pen. And those are the kind of things that are unnecessary. When we have so much we can agree on, let's go after the bad guys. If we want to go after guns, let's get the ones that are legally coming across the border. So I made that point to the Prime Minister as well, that it's not just one thing that is going to win Albertans' trust back. There's a whole series of things that the Trudeau Liberals did that went not only against our economy, but also against our values and way of life.
And I think, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Prime Minister does get that. I think that's part of what the MOU was about.
He's part Albertan. I think
yeah, that's right. So
years.
He's live to it. But do you not think that you're somehow enabling the conversation around?
Man, Carney is better than Trudeau in some ways. He obviously can actually talk in front of a mic, but better than Trudeau is nothing. Trudeau, as Kevin O'Leary calls him, the idiot king. Everyone, I bet you 90% of Canada is smarter than Trudeau. That's probably even being generous to Trudeau. And he was the prime minister.
The entire index of Canada, the stock market itself, went up 34% after 10 years of economic coma with Idiot King.
Separatism, by allowing this to play out without you saying, I'm not saying demonize them, I'm just saying this isn't the way forward. I'm going to make things better for you as Premier. Hang tight.
Well, that's what I have said.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I have said. I said I believe in a sovereign Alberta within a united Canada, a federal government that stays in its area's jurisdiction, that honors and respects our areas of jurisdiction, treats us with respect, allows us to develop our wealth so that we can all benefit. It fell on deaf ears.
You're also allowing the idea for a referendum to go forward, clearly because, I don't know what, you think that once they have a kick at the can, the story will be over?
Well, as you know, I inherited citizen initiative referenda, and there's a number of petitions that are going forward. There's a petition that has gone forward looking at the funding of independent schools. There's a petition going forward that's looking at the development of grassy mine coal down in southern Alberta. I do believe the citizen initiative is a mechanism for people to address things that we as a government would not put on the table. We as a government are not putting this on the table,
Sure.
but we're allowing citizens to demonstrate if they care enough about it. Get 177,000 signatures. We'll put it to a vote of their fellows.
Okay. Premier Smith, we'll leave it there. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Pretty fascinating exchange. They're at the Conservative Convention, of course, but I think it's fitting. I'll end the video the same place that I started. Look at this poll. And again, yes, you could say, oh, it's an outlier. Not really. All the data I've seen recently favors Liberals. Conservatives might get little upticks here and there, but nothing like what they had before when Poilievre was way ahead of Trudeau. I mean, they're not even close. This is almost getting into the flip version of that now, where we'll see what the polls are like in like the next few weeks, next few months, but this is crazy, man. 51-35. So anyway, with that said, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and have a great day.